Good morning. Good morning. Billy Merritt here, live at 11, live with Billy Merritt Presents. Today I'm presenting Caleb Wilson. If you're a salesperson, this is very important. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like this video, but I also need you to tag a friend. I need you, if you have a salesperson, if your husband is a salesperson, if your wife is a salesperson, you need to watch this show. This is a very important show. I'm going to tell you right now, this show will make you some money. This is going to be so impactful for anyone who will take the time to watch this show and take notes. Okay. Every Monday I bring you a money show. Every Tuesday I bring you the Sales Academy, which is basically what we're doing today. Today is the DigiNinja Dealer School, but today we're going to teach you how to be a dealership in yourself if you're a salesperson. So let's bring Caleb on. I want to go ahead and use every minute we can to get some very impactful, very important stuff. Caleb, what's going on?
Hey, man, just excited to do our Thursday show. It's always a good time, and I always get a lot of feedback afterwards, people saying that they picked up some things that'll help them, and that's why we're taking the time to do it. So looking forward to it today.
But thank you so much, man. So I'm in Broxton, Georgia, and you're in Clover, South Carolina. So you got on your Columbia, or you must be a little cool up there today.
Yeah, the weather's definitely getting a little better for us.
And before we get started, I want to say thank you to Woody Folsom Automotive, our sponsor for this show. They're doing a big event down in Douglas, Georgia today. Big West is on site helping them. Those guys, I tell you what they did, Caleb. Woody has a tremendous business and has for 25 years in Hazelhurst and then Baxley and Vidalia. Well, he came to Douglas. I kept on telling all the dealers that he was going to come to Douglas, Georgia and take over. Yeah, whatever. These old school dealers around here, they just sat around, and sure enough, he came in and 4x'd the sales, 4x the cars sold immediately. Never had this dealership sold 100 cars before. Now they're selling way over 100 cars every single month, and Big West is out there helping them. So thank you, Woody Folsom Automotive, doing big things. If you want to see some amazing inventory, if you want to see a website with thousands of cars, just go to woodyfolsom.com. So with that, let's get into this and tell us what you're going to do for our salespeople today.
Okay. Hey, yeah, Woody Folsom, that's a great store. Definitely a great operator. Appreciate them sponsoring the show. So today I want to talk about just how to become your own dealership. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people may not have the same opportunities in life or in business, and they can really become very, making themselves a lot of money, become very independent if they are able to just do things on their own and become their own dealership. So what we're talking about today, guys, is just how to do that, how to become your own dealership inside any store you work at, or even where you can take it to wherever you want to go. So, Billy, I guess you're still with us. I just lost you on my screen, but
Yeah,
all right, you're back. Okay, I want to make sure I didn't lose anybody. So, hey, I thought I was talking to myself.
No, you got lots of people watching you. And just to give you a heads up, we're practicing. My producer, he's gonna be, when he's got it, just when you see just yourself on the screen, that's what everyone else sees. It allows me to take a breath and stop smiling, because if I'm not smiling, I look like I'm mad. So
no problem.
Just remember, when you want me to respond, give me about 2 seconds, because the audio comes back when you see both screens. Okay.
Okay. All right. That sounds great. All right. So anyway, it starts out with being a decision, guys. You have to just decide that you're going to be successful selling whatever you're selling. Now, this is going to be more towards cars, but there's nothing that you won't be able to duplicate in any other type of sales. So number one is make that decision. Now, I'll tell you a little story real quick, because a lot of guys probably go through this. You know, when you first start in sales, you come into a dealership, the majority of the staff, the majority of the management team, ownership, whoever's running the store, they anticipate you not making it. They'll hire 10 salespeople and hope they get to keep 2. If they make it to 6 months, they'll stay for a long time. So there's a lot of turnover, and there's a lot of unprepared, untrained, people that are just put onto a sales floor, and they're not taught anything really other than this is what you do to sell a car here, or this is what you do to sell your product. They never really learn the business. So first you have to make a decision that you're going to become an expert. And Billy talks about that a lot, become an expert in your space. And that's what you have to do. Now, you can fake it till you make it. You know, people don't have to know that you don't know everything. You just need to have a lot of positive energy, a great attitude, and you need to be active and put forth the effort. So I know in a show earlier, I heard Billy say post 8 to 10 times a day. And that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to become so active that everyone knows that, hey, this guy is my advocate for buying, selling, anything automotive service. And you've got to really buy into that message. So how to do that is going to be a little more different. And that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to go through, because of time, I think we'll be able to go through about 3 steps of how to turn yourself into a dealership wherever you work at. And first, we have to talk about why you will want to do that. So I wrote down a couple of things here about why you will want to become your own dealership inside a store. Number one, and the first thing, is control. You know, life is a lot more fun when you're in control of what you do. No one likes to be bossed around, told what to do, overmanaged. People want to have some freedom, but that comes with earning it. You don't just like freedom in not to get into politics, but freedom's not free, right? You have to earn that freedom. And it's the same way in any type of organization you work at, but you can do that by following a few steps, having the right attitude, and creating your own dealership inside your store. So number one, you want control. You want to control your schedule. Number one thing I hear complaints about from people who get into automotive sales, they complain about the hours. They say, man, I don't mind selling cars. I like doing what I do. But that, the 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., 5-6 days a week, it's just killing me. It's killing my family. I'm not able to do my job. I'm not able to live my life. I'm just selling cars. I'm just working at this dealership. I'm not enjoying my life. So becoming your own dealership inside the store, number one, you can control your schedule. Number two, you can control your income. And then number three, you can control your life. Because if the team isn't supporting you, if they're not going where you're going, then you're going to be welcomed at any other place there is. So once you build your own dealership inside the store, you become the business itself. You're going to be wanted by a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of dealerships reaching out to you and saying, hey, Billy, I want you to come work for us, because they know that you're going to bring them, obviously, income, but they're also going to give you more and more control. And this may make some dealers mad, but sometimes, if you're going to take control of your life, you may have to move around a few times to get someone to pay attention to you and to get the attention you deserve. And, obviously I'm a Christian, but, even Jesus had to leave his town to go get attention because they weren't giving it to him where he was at, right? And so it's the same way with you. You may have to go somewhere else to get the attention you deserve. Because if you're the only one that believes in you and no one else does, then you're going to need to go somewhere where other people will. And so I'll let you speak to that real quick, Billy.
Absolutely, man. So what Caleb said right there is so important. Number one, you got to become the dealership. You have to be your own dealership and be an expert. He's giving you things going to allow you to teach you to be an expert so that you can have the confidence to, if you're at the wrong dealership, to move to a different dealership and know that you're not going to lose power. The power is in being the business yourself. And he mentioned that I had mentioned you need to post 8 times per day. I had one of our salespeople make an excellent post yesterday, and I shared it with all the other salespeople and said, hey, if you want to take sales seriously, you need to be doing this 8 times a day on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Let's start there. Start with those. And, it's very important. These things are not, don't take them lightly. They're very important. You have to be your own business, brand yourself, and post a lot. So don't think that Caleb saying, hey, you may have to hop around is a bad thing. Because if you're the brand and you're the dealership, there's going to be a dealer that's going to embrace you because he's going to get this business. He's going to get this free advertising. When you're posting 8, that's why I want my people posting on Facebook 8 times a day, is because that's giving me free advertising. So, Caleb.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to talk about, talk about why. We talk about the why. And Mr. Keffer, when I worked for him, he said we had to tune people into WIF, what's in it for, whatever. What's in it for them? WIFT, what's in it for them? And FM. And so he wanted to make sure everybody knew what was in it for them. And so first part of the show is, hey, what's in it for you? Control of your life, control of your schedule. You can make a lot of money and you can become your own business. You don't have, the goal doesn't have to be the manager, right? A lot of people mistakenly do that in a dealership. They think, okay, well, man, I'm selling. I want to be the manager. Why? They want to be the manager because they see the manager sitting in the office, sitting at the sales tower, not out selling, doing the hard work. So they see, it's perception. They perceive that as a better opportunity. So they all want to get moved up. And, I think we always called it manageritis, where they all wanted to be the manager so bad. But that's really not what you have to do. There's more than one way to become very successful in sales and automotive sales. So if you just take that off your mind and say, I just want to become my own dealership, because guess what? The manager is still controlled by the dealer, right? The dealer is controlled by the factory. The factory is controlled. And so if you really want to just get freedom, you have to quit worrying about that ladder to success and just make yourself the business. And you really can own your own business inside the dealership, and you have no expense. The dealer's paying for the inventory. The dealer's paying for the computers, the software, the advertising. The dealer's paying for everything, and you can reap the benefits if you're smart about it and if you build it the right way. So we're going to go into that, how to build it. What steps could you take today if it's your first day in sales, you just were hired at a car dealership, and you want to become your own business? So the first thing you're going to do, number one, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create your plan, obviously, right? Have your goal, set your goal, and then understand the numbers of how to hit that goal, right? Because we can talk about how to get the opportunities, but first we need to know how many we need. So let's talk about appointments. We always say appointments solve everything. Appointments sell cars. But here's the reality of appointments. 50% are going to show up, and 50% are going to buy a car from you. So if you come into the dealership for the day as a salesman and you have 2 appointments for the day, one may show up, and if only 50% buy, that person may not buy. So you can't go into your day if your goal, and if you write down the goal and you say, Caleb or Billy, my goal is to sell 25 cars a month. Okay, so to sell 25 cars a month, you're going to need, 100 appointments, 50 show up, and you sell half of them, right? So that's your first part. So how do I get 100 appointments or 100 in-person, in-face opportunities? So we're going to back into that number, and we're going to talk about all the things we can do to get to that 100 appointments, because that's going to solve our problem. 100 appointments, 50 show, we sell 25 cars, and we have 75 great contacts to keep working. And so that's the number we have to get to. So how do we do it, right? And so that's what we're going to go through. So the first thing, number one, make your goal. Number two, understand sales numbers of how to get there. And there's more than just appointment numbers, right? There's, you're going to have to figure out, how many phone calls do I have to make to get someone on the phone to set an appointment? So if it takes 30 phone calls to talk to 3 people to get 1 appointment, and you need to get 4 appointments a day for your 25 working days to get to 100, then you're going to need to make 120 phone calls or 120 text messages or 120 messenger. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to create, that's your number of action. 120 maybe your number of actions. And that could be emails, text messages, direct messages, online messaging. But about 120 is going to have to be your activity level just to hit your standard goal that you want to get to. And then if you 10x it and you operated and did 1,200 contacts a day, now you're going to hit those goals no problem. Now, 120 contacts may sound like, well, where am I going to get them at? It's my first day at the store. And so as you have these questions, if you post the questions on our thread here, we'll go back and answer them. If you watch this after the show and you have a question, me or Billy can always respond back. So number one, you're going to go to the management team and you're going to say, hey guys, I know there's been mass turnover at this dealership. I know that the average salesperson comes and goes. And I know that in the CRM, I would say that probably 40% of all customers in the CRM have no salesman assigned. And then I would say that probably 80% of people in the service CRM have no one assigned to them. And I'm going to tell the dealer, I'm going to say, Mr. Dealer, I want all those leads. No one's working them. You've paid for them. They're getting wasted and no one's doing anything with them. Because what I have to do, I have to create that power base of people I don't know, because we're going to talk about people we do know in a minute, but people I don't know. And I want to get all those people into my system. Now, more than likely, you're going to have a CRM you're working in, and it's a simple transfer. It's a simple reassignment that one person is going to have to do and reassign you those opportunities. If the dealer says, well, we don't want to do that in our CRM, or they say they don't know how to do it, or you're in a smaller store that doesn't have that, or even a non-automotive store, you could also go to your DMS and get your sales records. So you could go and say, hey, go in our management system and give me every person who bought a car 18 months to 3 years ago, or everyone that's been in service in the last 12 months, and then just sort it, filter it, get rid of people who still work there, who have assigned salespeople to them, and then you're going to have those leads. So you're going to take that customer base that no one's working, no one's following up on, their salesman quit, because how many people do we know that bought a car and then 3 days later the salesman quit? Now that person had no follow-up, no one cared for them, no one took care of them. So you want to get all those people first. And then you're going to send them a simple message. And because they've been interacting with the dealership, obviously you can reach out to them. You're going to have most people's cell phones, especially if they've been in to buy a car or service. So get your phone out and start texting. And I wrote down what I would say. I would do something simple like this. I wrote a little thing. I would go, hello, my name is Caleb Wilson, and I want to let you know that I'm your new contact at the dealership. We really need your vehicle, and we'd like to make you a big offer for it. Can I text you what your car's worth? And if you send that out to all those contacts you have, I promise you're going to have hundreds of responses of people saying, yeah, what's my car worth? And that's going to get the conversation started. Even if they're not happy with the number, you're going to have their name, you're going to have their number saved in your phone, and you're going to start building that list up for your 120 contacts you're trying to make. So step number one is going to be get the list of old customers from your dealership. Get the list of old customers. And that's going to be not that hard to do. You'll get the list, and then you're going to start reaching out to them with the message we just talked about. Hello, my name's Caleb. I'm the new guy at your dealership. I'm here to help you. We need your vehicle. Tell you what it's worth. If you could do a video message, that's going to be even better, because they're going to watch it. Because if they see the text message and they see it's from the dealership, they may not even open it. But if you send that video, they're going to play it. So just make sure you have a good, clear video. Get your message across. Hey, I'm Caleb. I'm the new guy at the dealership, here to help you. I've been brought in specifically to work with you, Billy. We actually have a customer needing your vehicle. Could I let you know what it's worth? Send that out. You're going to get a lot of opportunities right away.
Caleb, as a matter of fact, man, it's just amazing that you're saying this right now. You might hear Paul in the background. Paul's actually recording a video right now, reaching out to dealers, and we practice what we preach here. So, I apologize if you hear the background noise, but Paul's walking through, showing the dealers, showing potential customers exactly how we do and what we do. And, I just want to speak to the fact that you said that a lot of salespeople say that they don't like the hours in the car business. Well, here's the biggest problem I see with that. The biggest problem I see is most salespeople don't work the 12 hours. They're there, but they're not working. So let me tell you what a general manager wants. And if you want to be super successful at a dealership, become a dealership yourself, which is what Caleb's teaching you how to do, then it's very important to make that general manager happy. Do you know how to make that general manager happy? You get on the phone and you get in that CRM, which is the customer relations management tool, and you start calling people and you start texting people, you start making them big offers. That general manager is going to pay attention and understand what you're doing, and you are going to have the favor of the general manager, and favor is not a bad thing. Caleb and I don't use terms when we're helping dealerships or when we were running dealerships. We don't use terms like the house mouse. You hear that. You hear all these derogatory terms like, oh, that's the general man. That's Caleb's boy right there. Well, you know what? That's because he understands that guy he's creating attention. He's getting attention. He's creating income. He's creating advertising for free. And you want to make that general manager happy, then you get in there and you start texting people. You start doing your videos. You start reaching out to these customers and prospecting all the time, and you're going to be a dealership and you're going to get the favor of the dealer. So carry on.
That's right. And you're going to get the favor. You're going to get a couple. You can probably get 5 deals a month just from that alone, from house deals, house opportunities coming in. And what I always looked at was who was working the hardest, and that's who's going to get it. Because if I'm pushing hard, like ours, once we get done with this, you will see that, what you can achieve and then what you can do with it. So number one, like I said, get the CRM leads no one else wants. Get all of them. It doesn't matter if they may give you 2,000. If there's 2,000 in there, who cares? Send all to take a week if it takes it. Send all 2,000 a text message and get yourself 200 to 300 leads working. You're going to turn into car deals. You're going to have a great month, and you're going to transform that dealership right away. Everyone's going to want to know what you're doing, and it's okay to show them. So number two, and this is kind of a sidebar, be prepared to be hated by everybody in the dealership. Just be prepared for it. So if you go in and you're taking massive action, and you're not showing up at work, going outside, hanging out, going in for the meeting, getting out of the meeting, hanging out, waiting until lunch, and then maybe hoping you sell a car, you're going to interrupt the process. You're going to interrupt what everyone's doing. The general manager or dealer is going to see how hard you are working. They're going to get upset with the managers. Why aren't they doing what you're doing? Why are all these customers in the CRM that are getting sold? Why have they not already been contacted, right? So you're going to get some heat from the managers. You're going to get a lot of heat from the salespeople. The other salespeople are going to not like you because you're reminding them of what they could do, but they've already given up on, right? And that's where hate comes from. They're going to just be mad because they had the same opportunity as you, but now you have become successful, and they're not going to like you because it's going to remind them of what they've missed out on in their life. So just be prepared for that, and don't worry about it. So that's just a little side message, because you're going to run into that. If you do step one today, by tomorrow, you're going to need to remember what I just told you. So number two, service department. Someone doesn't own a customer in most stores just because they bought a car there and they came back for their oil changes, right? I don't know what each dealer's policy is, but I always had that, you need to be in touch with your customer. If you sold a car to somebody at least once a month, you need to send them a message and let them know, hey, how's your car going? Can I help you with anything? When are you coming in for service? Stop by my desk and see me. I want those people to be communicated with. And so if you're not, and your dealership's open to it, then you need to talk to every customer that's in the service department. Right now, if you're a salesman, you get up, you walk to service, I promise there's 3 to 4 or 5 people sitting there. No one wants to be there. No one's excited about coming to the emergency room for their car, right? Like, no one wants to be there. And so you can take that opportunity, and 2 things. One, their car's broke down. They're going to have a costly repair, and they're probably not in a position where they just want to do that. Number 2, they're just there for routine service, and their salesman, there's a good chance, I'd say a 40% chance, that their salesperson no longer works there, or they didn't buy their car from the dealership. So you need to get in that service lounge. You need to speak to people. You need to say, just walk in. Hey guys, I'm Caleb. I'm new here at the dealership, or I'm here at the dealership, and I just wanted you to know, if you don't know who your salesman is, or if you don't have anybody, I'm the guy that you need to talk to. Here's my card. You can text me anytime. Follow me on social media. I'm always posting great tips about vehicles and things going on at the store. And just introduce yourself to people, and then ask them, create yourself a survey and ask them to do it for you. So Billy, what I would do is I would go in and I'd say, hey, Billy, what are you driving now? And, I'm driving say you're driving a 2018 F-150 and I'm in a Ford store. Hey, great. The 2021 models are out. They made a lot of changes. I know it's going to be 20, 30 minutes on your oil change. Would you take a look at the new one for me? I don't want to sell you nothing. I just would like you to tell me what you like better about it versus the old one, so I can, you know more about the truck than I do. You're driving one. And just get that guy to come look at the vehicle and tell you what he likes and don't like about it, and see if maybe you can generate some interest. And then at the end, I'm going to say, hey, Billy, you have a great truck. Would you care if I text you an offer on it, just let you know what I think it's worth? Now you've got a new customer, a new opportunity. He's going to say, yeah, what's my truck worth? And even if he can't stay and buy a car right now, that's okay. I'm not trying to sell him a car right that second. I'm trying to generate an opportunity for me to continue to work. And so, that's what you can do in your service lane. Or you can sit at your desk and look and see people over there and not go talk to them. I mean, that's really the only 2 options there are. So they're already being ignored by the majority of your sales staff. When you go over and start talking to them, if there's a salesman there and that's their customer, they're going to come running and say, hey, what's going on? Why are you talking to my customer? And, I would just say, because you weren't, and so I'm trying to talk to everybody. And just like I said, be prepared for the hate, because when you're outworking everyone, it's going to make people mad. So anything on that you'd like to add, Billy?
Absolutely. Yeah, man. So here's why you're going to get hate. When I was at a dealership and I showed up, and salespeople, seasoned salespeople, which you do not want to be that. You want to be the new guy. You want to be the guy that's doing things differently. So the reason I generated hate for myself is because when the salespeople would be in their little sales meeting, after every manager sales meeting, the salespeople get together and have their own sidewalk meeting, or get in the office and talk about how dumb the manager is. And what I did is I would, if 10 salespeople were having their sales meeting, I would go out on the parking lot. If 10 people came out on the parking lot, I would go in and sit by the telephone. So I wasn't there to make friends. I was there to make money, and I was there to build my brand and build my business. And I sold 42 cars, the first month I was there, when they were selling 15 and 20, but it's because I didn't care. I didn't look for enemies, but I was prepared for the hate. You have to be willing to work. And if you outwork everyone, what you're doing, Caleb, is you're showing them maybe not what they could be doing, but you're just pointing out the fact that they're not working. And that's what's happening. And that's why you get favor from the dealer and hate from the salespeople.
That's right. That's right. And so the last thing is going to take a little time to talk about, and that's activating your power base. So I want to say it was in the book Grant wrote that was, if you're not first, you're last. It left an impression on me about your power base. And so what Grant talked about in that book was activating your power base. And that was people you knew right now. And so what I would do if it was day one, I would do this. And as a sales manager, as a general manager, I did this with my team every day, because they just didn't know what to do. It wasn't they weren't willing to work. They just didn't know what to do. And so activating your power base is simple. Number one, you just want to get out a sheet of paper and start writing people down, and I would say, list out every person personally that you have a good, close relationship with, that drives a vehicle now, that has a car payment on the vehicle now. So start with your family. Does your mom and dad have a vehicle? Does your sister, does your brother, does your uncle, cousin, grandparents? Make that whole list, and then go through your former coworkers from where you used to work at. What did they drive? Who are your high school friends, your church friends? Everyone you're going to put on that list. And you're not going to be embarrassed that you sell cars or that you sell makeup or whatever you're selling, right? You're going to be proud of what you do. You're going to make that list, and you're going to make a video and send it to them. Hey, Billy, I know that, I know we see each other at church. We don't always talk about work, but I just want to let you know what I do. I'm an expert at automotive sales. I can handle any vehicle needs you have. I know what you drive now. I know you got a nice vehicle. I'm the guy to help you. If you need any service work done, you need tires, you need an oil change, you don't have to call the store. Call me. I'll make your appointment for you. We'll get you in. I'll take great care of you. You want to reach out to your power base first and let them know that you are the expert in your town, in your area, at anything automotive. And then they're going to reach out to you when they want to buy a vehicle, because if you stay in front of them, because they're going to see what's going on. They're going to get the curiosity going. Everyone's willing to trade. If you have a car payment now, your majority of people are not going to pay it off and keep it forever. They're going to keep trading, keep a car payment, just part of their life. So those people, once they know that you're the guy, then you're going to be great. Because what you don't want to be around some of your friends or church or buddies, and they go, hey Caleb, what do you do again? Then if that's happening, you're not doing a good job at your power base. So you got to start with your power base, number one, and then after you write down the list of everybody you know, then you're going to go to social media. You're going to go to Facebook, and you're going to look at your friends list. All right. If your friends list has no one on it, you've got to start sending out some invites, right? So I think it's 5,000 it's capped at?
5,000.
Get to 5,000. Send out just request. It doesn't even matter how well you know the person. Just get your 5,000. Send them out to everybody. Get your 5,000 friends. You can filter through the ones you don't want later. They'll filter themselves out, right?
Yeah, you can delete them once they're not active. If they're not helpful, if they're negative, then you can get rid of them. But absolutely,
get rid of them. Yeah. Get rid of them. If they don't like what you're doing, delete. You're gone. Get you a new one. But get those 5,000 people on your Facebook, and then what are you going to do? Send them the message, right? send them the message, let them know, here's what I do, here's what I'm doing. I sell cars, I'm your guy. And then on a side note of that, let's say you're working at Woody Folsom, CDJR in Douglas, Georgia. Now, if I work at Woody Folsom, CDJR in Douglas, Georgia, and my power base has a lot of people in it from the country club, and they're driving Lexus, Mercedes, Cadillac, what am I going to do? Okay, if my dealer don't have that brand, I still want to make money. And this is what I'm talking about becoming your dealership. So what you're going to do, guys, you're going to reach out to every dealership of every brand, and you're going to create a relationship. So if I'm at the Dodge store, I'm going to find a guy at the Ford store. I would call the sales manager, the general manager, and say, hey, Billy, this is Caleb Wilson. I'm the #1 salesperson over at Woody Folsom. I wanted to reach out to you this morning and let you know I have customers interested in Fords. I don't have Fords. I can't sell them a new Ford. Would it be possible when I have one of my customers, could I call you, or can I do a group text and get my customer over to you? And, assuming you're going to go ahead and compensate me for that with a bird dog, correct? And I almost set that up with every brand around me. And then that way I can send my customer to them. They're going to do all the work, and I'm going to get paid from the dealership. I'm going to get my bird dog for sending that customer there. Not only that, I'm going to open up other opportunities for myself if I needed to move, because how many of those general managers have got a phone call from a salesman at another store telling them what I just said? I promise you it's zero. No one's getting that phone call. So you're going to want to do that, and you're going to set up that network of people that you can refer your customers to at each brand so they can sell them a car, or, and always, this is probably always best, try to sell them what you have, offer to find them the vehicle in a pre-owned model. But if they don't have it, if your dealer won't get it, or if your used car manager is ignoring you, you're going to them, you're going, hey, Billy, I've got a customer, they want a 2015 Lexus ES350. Can you get me one? And he says, yeah, I'll look at the auction. They're hard to get. Man, why am I going to let that customer go a week, 10 days and not sell them a car? They're going to go somewhere else because I'm not getting the attention I deserve, and someone's not getting on Manheim and buying me that car right away, or giving me access where I can show customers what all I can get. I remember a long time ago, Billy, you would go to the auction and do videos of all the inventory that you had that was really just on the auction lot, right? And you were selling cars that way. Well, that's what I'm saying, is that's what you're going to have to do. Is if they're not going to do that for you, then you can go do it yourself. But it's going to be a lot easier is if, they've got a certified pre-owned vehicle at another location that's exactly what your friend wants, and your store is not going to get it in for them. That's fine. Just send them there and get your bird dog. And what'll happen is you'll start having that income coming in from all those other stores, and all those other stores are going to know you as an expert. And when someone wants to buy a new CDJR model, they're going to send that customer to you as well. So if your dealer says, man, you send a customer somewhere else, I'm saying, yeah, but I'm going to get them back. They're going to send me opportunities too. And so you have to kind of build that network up on your own. You're going to build that referral network up. You may never have really even heard somebody talk about that, Billy, but what's your thoughts on setting up that network?
Oh, listen, I'm taking notes right now because I want to make sure. And I think salespeople, you should be taking notes so you can go back and listen to these super ideas that people just don't do. I'm going to go ahead and recap right now. You need to be branding yourself. You need to be posting a lot. You need to be making a lot of phone calls. Get in the CRM, go to the general manager, get those orphan customers and start building. We're building relationships with all these people, Caleb. That's, you're building relationships with the customers. You're taking your power base and you're going to call them and say, hey, I got great news. I'm at the dealership now. So man, you should be proud of what you're doing and make sure everybody knows that make sure everyone knows what you're doing. And when it comes to videos, I'm going to tell you an example of how I took a dealership from selling teens to over 50 cars instantly, was over 40 cars instantly, 50 a few times. Was I got on Facebook, I had my 5,000 friends, and I'm always updating that list. I'll get rid of someone who is not being valuable, and I'll replace it with somebody who has, maybe give them a chance to be valuable. But I would go through and I would send videos daily. Hey, today's Wednesday. I got a really big event going on. Here's what's happening. I'm paying up to $5,000 over Kelley Blue Book for trade-in. So, if you or anybody could use an extra $5,000 for your trade-in or whatever your big offer is, I would record that video on my phone and I would go to Facebook Messenger and I would send it to as many people until Facebook finally blocked me from sending messages because they knew what I was doing. But instantly now everybody knows. You didn't have to wonder what Billy does. Billy's the guy who's paying $5,000 more for trade-ins. Now the other dealers thought it was stupid, but I didn't care. I was selling cars. So, you have to build that relationship with the other dealers as well. And you're always, it's all about building relationships. Build relationships with those other dealers. And I tell my people all the time, pick up the phone and call the general manager of these stores. You never know what that relationship can turn into. That's why we're doing this show together, Caleb. I knew when I saw you, when I met you, I didn't know exactly what we would be doing in the future, but I knew I wanted a relationship because we could do something valuable in the future. So, man, pick up the phone and build those relationships. Call those general managers so that everybody knows your name and knows that you're going to outwork everyone else.
All right. And then the last thing to kind of talk about today. So like you said, number one, you're going to get the orphan customers. Number two, you're going to work service. Number three, you're going to get your power base activated. And then lastly, you're going to put some of your own money into it. And I'll tell you that most general managers will reimburse you. So what I might would do is go to Billy and say, hey, Billy, I'm really, really good at social media. You've seen how hard I work. Okay. And this is why this is the last step. I'm not going and asking for anything until I've done some work. But I'm going to say, hey, Billy, all week long, I've got all the orphan customers. You've seen me work in service. You've seen me on social media. You've seen what I'm doing. And listen, now that I have everyone in our area, everyone in our town, it's been 2 weeks. They know that I'm the new guy. I'm the number one salesman in the marketplace. I'm the number one automotive guy in Douglas, Georgia, or in Clover, South Carolina, or in whatever city you're in. Now, I like to ask you something. Can I have $200-$300 that I can use on ads? And that's all I need. I'm just asking you, give me $200 to $300 to use on some ads. Just reimburse me. I'll take care of it. Just reimburse me on commissions. Is that okay, Billy? And there's no way that guy's going to say no to that question. Because how foolish would that be to tell this guy you've seen working so hard, no, I won't invest $100 to $300 in your ideas. If he says no, number one, you're at the wrong store. Number two, you can just do it yourself. Okay. Yep. And what I'm talking about is running your own ads. So, sorry, my computer just did something here. All right, I'm back. So, running your own ads. So, this has nothing to do with automotive. It's just going to prove the point. I had a good friend of mine, and he was a machinist, and he lost his job. He'd been there about 15 years. And he come to me, and he called me and said, hey, Caleb, I need to work. I need a job. And I said, man, I can't just, what I do may look easy, but I can't just, it's 25 years of experience. I can't just tell you how to do it and think everything becomes great. I said, but come to my office. Let's talk about what you can do. So he comes down and we talk, and he has a new piece of machinery. He has, like I said, his new piece of machinery. He has vehicles. He has a heavy duty truck, and he's really good at doing grading type work with skid steers. And I said, hey man, well, tell me this, what if we created our own business and I showed you how to create your own business, and you create your own company doing land clearing and skid steer work and all this. He's like, man, that's fine, but I have to make $7,000 a month. That's what I was making. I got to do that to pay my bills. I said, man, that number will not even be a problem. So what I did is I created him a Facebook page, and we become partners. Like, how I like to do. I want to invest in him. I want to show him that I believe in him. I'm going to support him. I'm going to put my resources into it. And we created a business. And we went on Facebook, and we have spent less than $400 in ads in the last 6 weeks. And he's booked through November with jobs. And last month he made around 20-something thousand, around 22,000 in income. And we did that with $400 of advertising on Facebook. So if I can sell grading, stump removal, field planning, cleanup type stuff on Facebook, when not everyone needs that done, there's no way I can't sell cars when everyone needs to have one, right? So
Absolutely.
what you're gonna do, you're gonna run those ads for yourself, and you're gonna be smart about it, because you don't have a lot of money, salesman. You may only have $30. You may say, man, all I got is an extra $30. Fine, put it into Facebook. Pick the right audience. If you're selling Ford trucks and you want to be the truck guy, or if you're selling vans or 3-row SUVs, know your audience, right? So let's say I'm selling Suburbans or Tahoes. That's mainly going to be a mother with children that needs a big vehicle, right? It is an expensive new car, right? So I can go on Facebook. I can target the neighborhoods of the people who can probably afford that, that I know can afford that vehicle. And I'm not judging anybody. I'm just putting my dollars where I feel like I'm going to get my best return. I'm going to hit the age group of people that I feel is best for me to hit, right? And that's the people that I'm going to focus on, and that's what I'm going to do. And so I'm going to spend my money on Facebook, and I'm going to create my own ads. I'm going to create my own leads, and I'm going to prove to the dealer it works. And not only that, but everyone in my area is going to see me as the expert, because I'm not branding myself as Caleb Wilson at Woody Folsom. I'm Caleb Wilson, the car guy, and I'm going to get those customers coming directly to me. And I'm going to show my dealer that it works, and that's going to allow me to finish up my circle between my orphan customers, my service customers, my Facebook friends, my power base, and then my lead customers. And I'm going to create that business for myself. And that's really the model that anybody can do, and they can do it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do it instantly, and it doesn't take much money. But here's why, and we're going to put this out there, and a lot of people are going to watch it, but then very few people are going to do it. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you do this, you're going to win. You're going to win big. It's just it's that simple.
That's what it's going to come down to. And so I know we got a little bit of time here still, but I just wanted to say, like I said, that's kind of the 3 things I picked out of how we can do it. And then, like I said, just benefits of becoming your own dealership are simple. It's you're going to have that freedom. You're going to have that time. You're going to have everything you want to have, and you're going to enjoy what you do. So when you have control, you're going to have enjoyment. And so, like I said, that's going to be the steps you need to take to get there. There's a lot more to it. It's going to take some hard work. It's going to take some dedication. Like you said, 1 out of 10 people will do it. And hey, if you are a general manager or a sales manager watching this show, hopefully we threw some good ideas out there, because how big would your store be if every salesman did exactly what I'm talking about, right? I mean, that would be the big thing, if you could get everybody to do what we just talked about.
Yeah, and you can get them to do it. Haven't watched this show. I tell you what, you take one salesperson and you get them empowered. I've never once told a salesperson that I would not help them with ads if they wanted to run their own ads. I'm all about it. Let's build your brand, salesman. Let's do this for you. So there's some great information here, guys. You need to back up and take notes. Take notes on what Caleb put out there for you. There's some very good information. Now, I want to take a turn here with the show, because we're always talking business and we're always talking about car sales. So, we work long and hard, and we both work about 80 hours a week doing something. Okay. When you have your spare time, I know you're also a very competitive coon hunter and a coon hound trainer. Is that correct?
Yeah, coon hounds and squirrel dogs is our big thing. I'm fortunate to own a dog that is one of the best. He won the the United Kennel Club, the UKC, the World Hunt in 2017, and he won what's called the Super Stakes, which is the best young dog in the country, in 2015. And he's won around $75,000 in winnings. But then I have the rest of my dogs that we competitively train and hunt with, and they've almost exceeded that number as well. So we compete at the highest level. But it's just like this. It requires dedication. It requires, late nights. It requires, even this morning, I have a 6-month-old dog that I had to take out and spend 30 minutes with him, whether I had it or not, because no one else is going to do that every day. And it goes back to all the same things we talk about in success and business and sales. It's the same things we do with the training the dogs. It's the same activities.
The dog that's won $75,000 in person and winnings, is that the coon hound or the?
Yeah, that's Sam. That's my coon hound, Sambo. Okay. Yeah.
Smith. Let's put this clip out there. When you go back, he goes back and puts these things. So let's do I want you to go to Caleb's photos and find a picture of Sambo, and say, just make this about Sambo. So, Caleb, tell me where Sambo came from, and tell me his qualifications again, and where you got him, and what you've done with him so far.
All right. So Sam came from upstate South Carolina, and at about 6 months, he started naturally treeing coons and doing what he's supposed to do. And anytime a young dog comes up, when it's like people see it, they take notice, the dog's getting attention, it becomes a bidding war to get it. And a guy got the dog, and he did most of the winning. His name is Robbie, and Robbie did most of the winning, and Robbie took him and he hunted him, and he won. He would end, $30 hunts at a time, right? $30 entry fees, win $100. He won almost $30,000 in $100 wins. The dogs had just won hundreds of hunts. And then he won, 2015 was the first big hunt where he won the Super Stakes, and that was a $10,000 prize. And you're hunting against around $2,000 to $3,000 at that hunt. And Sam won that. And then in 2017, he won the UKC World Hunt, which is the biggest. There's a lot of world titles out there, but it's the biggest one. It's the biggest one. And Sambo was a crossbred dog, so he's not full blooded. And UKC didn't like that. Some things came up, and they even tried to take his title away from him because there's a lot of politics in big money hunting. And but Sam was very qualified. And so after that happened, Robbie kind of got disgusted with the hunting and everything that happened with UKC, and he sold the dog to some guys, and they hunted him, and they won another $25,000-$30,000 with him. And I got a phone call one day about 18 months ago, I guess, and the guy said, "Hey, do you want to buy Sam?" And I was mainly only doing squirrel dog field trials, and I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'd like to have him for my son." So we're not going to competition hunt. I'd just like to have him for my son. So I bought the dog and went and got him, and of course, I had no idea how good he was, and I got him, and we started going to hunt. I said, "Well, I'm gonna take him to some hunts," So we started winning some hunts, and these hunts are not $30 that we're going to. They're $5,000, $6,500 entry fees, and you're winning, $50,000, $60,000 at these hunts. And so we start putting him in those, and he's doing real well, and got him in a breeding program, producing a lot of nice young dogs. And then Sam now, about 3 to 4 weeks ago, I guess, Robbie called me. Same situation. Robbie called me. He had went through a job change. He was asking for, hey, what can I do to make money? And I said, "Man, why don't you take Sam back? And so I'll pay you to hunt him and get him ready for the world hunt." So he's right now getting reconditioned, ready for the world hunt. He's going up there in the second week of October, and we're looking for him to do really well and get back on top and people recognizing what a good dog he is again, and a chance for Robbie to kind of a good chance for Robbie to put all that noise, to bed that people call us about him and the dog. And so we're looking at it as a coming back opportunity, to come back and show everybody, what he can really do. So Sam's is a one of a kind animal. Probably never have another one like him. But we've got, dogs are a lot like training dogs, like training salespeople. You have to give them support, spend time with them, show them what's right, what's wrong, and reward them for doing a good job.
Yeah.
And then they'll be loyal to you.
What breed is he? How is he registered?
Yeah, he's half. So, and he is registered. They, all the registries started recognizing crossbred dogs about, I don't know exactly, that's 8 to 10 years ago. So he is registered. He's half blue tick and half treeing walker.
Wow. Man, so, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
so
he's a rebel, that's for sure.
Yeah, Sambo. So the Sambo's making a comeback. How old is he now?
He's 8. He's 8, but he looks like he's 2. He's genetically he is. He really is. So yeah, and that's their prime. Like 6 to 8 is kind of their prime. They've got all the foolishness out of them. All the young stuff is gone, and they only want to do their job. So I know that in the last 3 weeks, we've hopefully no game wardens are watching the show, but in the last 3 weeks, we've had about 30 coons out to him. And he's if you guys come up and wanted to go one night, and you're going to get to see, raccoons in trees. It's not going to be walking to empty trees. So right. He's a real strong dog. We treed one night up in Michigan. We treed almost 16 in one night in just a couple hours. So if they're there, he's going to find them.
So I have a little experience with the coon hunting. My stepfather, he's hunted in some pretty good dogs as well in the past and won some pretty big hunts at Grand Champions and Grand Night, all that stuff. But anyway, the squirrel thing interests me as well. When did you get into the squirrel field trial hunting?
So that was with children. With my kids, I got out of coon hunting because it was nighttime, and I just didn't have time to go, and I couldn't take them with me because they were in bed. So I really got into squirrel hunting about 12 years ago with my daughter. I would have her my wife was working at the time, and I would have her on my day off. And so if I wanted to go hunting, I had to take her with me. And so we started squirrel hunting together. And when she was not even 2 years old. And so it was something we could do in the daytime, and we just enjoyed it. And then it became very competitive. There's some guys that really started some new registries and made it competitive. And so I got back into that. I bought a dog January of 2019. I didn't know any of the rules. We went to South Carolina state hunt, and he won. And then I took him to North Carolina state hunt the next weekend, and I won. And I went to Tennessee the next weekend and got third. And I'm like, man, this is easy. I was like, I'm just winning everywhere. Reality was I just got lucky. And so I learned more about it, got into it heavy. We started a team. I was at a hunt. I met some other guys, and we became a team. And a team allows you to do more. You're not just one person. You've got a team of guys, and it helps you with competition. So we become a team. And last year, our team, one of our dogs, which is a dog I own named Rocky, he won. There's 5 big hunts, and they're called ground floor hunts, but you pay a $500 entry fee. It's capped at $27, and first place pays out about $10,000. Well, Rocky won. He won 3 of those hunts last year out of the 5, and then we had another dog. 2 of our other dogs got second a couple times. Had one of the guys on our team. It's his dog, but she got second in a big one, won around $20,000. And then one of the guys on the team, he has a dog that's the all-time winningest dog. It's won over $90,000 in competitive squirrel hunting, and he won a brand new Toyota Tacoma truck last year. So squirrel hunting has got really, really big, and all that's done is it's really driven up the price of quality puppies and quality trained young dogs. So anybody can buy a nice started coon dog for about $2,000. A nice started squirrel dog is going to run around $5,000. So wow. It's harder to find a great one. And it's harder to find one that competes at a high level. And so the prices, it's nothing for a dog to sell for 20 to 25,000 if it's at the top of its game.
So let's turn this right into to business. That is capitalism at its finest. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got people complaining and people, and I'll try to stay off the politics, but you got people complaining and people looking for handouts, and then you got people out there that are building tremendous businesses and just raking in money with squirrel hunting. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is still the United States, the land of opportunity. Right. And if you just use a little creativity and some hard work and dedication, I love it, man.
Yeah, it's people ask, and it's a great tax opportunity as well, because obviously kennels and farms, you have some benefits there, and it produces income. It's not something you're just spending money on. And so it does give you a lot of benefits there as well to have a hobby that you can compete at and make money in, because it is producing income.
And so you can write it off on your taxes. Yeah. Deduction. So speaking of tax deductions, I had on the show yesterday, I know you're always working hard from 11 to 12. You may not was able to see it, but we were talking about the fact that we're building the new office over in Douglas. It's almost complete. Everything we've done this year, our time frame, we never lowered the target, but we just kept on adding to things. So they were going to, DigiNinja is going to be fully functional in October. So we'll be able to sell that. That's been a long time coming. The office, it was supposed to be a 3-week event, and they totally renovated that thing. Now we got porches on it. We got a whole new studio, but I was just stating the fact that that's an amazing thing that, if you're an entrepreneur, you can do things like that. You can get a tax, you can avoid some taxes by all this equipment that we have, and that's why we ask you to invest in some new sound equipment. I think you have coming on the way, but that office behind you, that wasn't there a year ago. Is that right?
That's right. And I was renting an office, and I didn't like it. it wasn't nice enough to really bring my clients to. And I didn't, man, I want to be comfortable where I'm working at. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to just build my own office, and then I'll rent myself back that office for the, what the square feet costs to have an office like that, in the Charlotte market. And so I was able to spend about $130,000 to build the office the way I wanted it. It's about, it's 50 by 65. So it's about 2,500 square foot or so. And then it's got upstairs in it, and it's, we put bathrooms in it. We did everything. The big thing I did, which is kind of behind me here, is something I really like, which is I put in a stone fireplace, and it's a wood burning fireplace. I like the smell of the wood. I like to hear the cracking and popping. And then, like I said, up here we've got the loft area, but I took some old horse rails and built this railing and stuff, and we just made it to a place where I could enjoy it. Where I could work, and I didn't have to worry about, I just wanted it to be mine, the way I wanted it. I know we had, and I've been able to do some really neat things in here that I'm real excited about. And also this, I was able to build it on my own property. So now I'm at home. I'm not traveling anymore. It was before COVID, but it kind of worked out where it was, it's perfect situation, where I'm already here. And, now I can bring clients in. We can talk. We're in a quiet spot, and it works really well for everybody.
Yeah, man, that's cool. So, now, we're burning through an hour now, but I just want to mention, with that office you have, we have people in, for instance, I have a dealer group in Pennsylvania that's going to be coming down to Douglas. He said, Billy, I got to come down to Douglas. Where you at, in Douglasville? He thought I was in Douglasville, and actually I was in Douglas, Georgia, and obviously he had to. Go to one screen.
I'm right back. Yeah. I just, no, on my security camera, I look on my security camera. Come here, girl. And my security dog was outside, and she's not supposed to be down here. Come here, girl.
Okay.
So anyway, and I was kind of sorry. I was making sure nobody was out there breaking in on me.
That's totally. So we've got a dealer group in Pennsylvania that's going to come down to Douglas. He thought I was in Douglasville, which is in Atlanta. But once I explained to him we're actually in Douglas, Georgia, he's gonna fly his personal plane down to Douglas and come to the call center. And then I told him we'll also come up to Pennsylvania with the Baron, because my Baron's back out of the shop, so we'll be headed back up there. And we're going to stop by Clover, South Carolina, and check out I'll let him meet the South Carolina crew as well. So
that'd be great, man.
It was a fun show, a very interesting show, very, very good information for the salespeople, how to create your own dealership. We're going to do it again next Thursday, man. And tomorrow's Feel Good Friday. I wish you were down here. We're going to put some as Paul calls them, some brats on the grill and cook for everybody. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for who you are, Caleb. We'll see you next week, man.
Have a good day. Thank you, man.